Coming up on ATV News, we look at the recent DC Metro train derailment and how American University students are dealing with the reduced capacity. These changes could have long-term impacts on everyday commuters.
Also, American University's theater department raises the curtain for the first time since the pandemic. We'll talk to AU students about what it means for them to be back on stage. ATV News starts now. And welcome to ATV News. I'm Jane Fusco.
And I'm Ben Mermel. Thank you for joining us. The Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority has implemented reduced capacities on all metro lines following a train derailment earlier in the month. Jane Fusco looks into how this change is leading to longer transit times for American University students.
Following a DC Metro train derailment on October 12th, the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority has pulled all 748 of its 7,000 series trains out of service as it conducts safety checks. About 60% of the Metro's fleet is currently out of service, and depending on the results of the safety investigation, it may take weeks or even months to get the Metro system running at 100% capacity. What does this mean for American University students who depend on the city's metro?
So everything is just moving a little bit later. It's a little bit more, definitely more inconvenient.
For some students, daily commute times have doubled as a result of the investigation.
Yeah, so my commute has been expanded by quite a bit, unfortunately. Instead of leaving myself a half hour like I typically would, now I leave myself about an hour and I get here at about the same time.
For many commuters, it may feel as though there is no end in sight. All they can hope for is a speedy resolution.
I hope that it's fixed soon. I think everybody hopes that, but yeah, it's definitely adding a lot more stress to my schedule, especially as a freshman. I'm already dealing with midterms.
And in an update to the story, WMATA has announced they expect limited rail service to continue through at least November 15th. The City of Washington is offering a free 30-day Capital Bike Share membership to all DC residents, giving some American commuters an additional option. Residents can sign up for a free membership on the Capital Bike Share or Lyft apps. Student performances are ramping all across AU's campus. Adriana Doria spoke with AU theater students about their return to the stage and what protocols are in place to keep the actors safe.
Following almost 2 years of online classes due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the American University Theater Department is back and ready to bring in-person productions to campus again. And for theater students, this came with much excitement and relief.
Being up on stage or being in the audience, I was in the audience for Overture, it was just so nice and relieving to see in-person theater.
The first department-wide in-person production is a musical called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, directed by Carl Coppola and Rebecca Bailey. The musical is a comedy that incorporates elements of audience participation.
To be in a show that is supposed to be a little more interactive, I think is really, it's just, makes me very happy, after this whole time of being so isolated.
The production is at Greenberg Theater with a limited audience capacity. Since performers are unmasked during the show, the department implemented bi-weekly COVID tests and social distancing for the safety of the performers.
I think they did a really good job making sure everyone was safe, everyone was everything was secure, and just making sure in general that the actors could perform and be happy, as well as the audience being happy as well.
I'm Adriana Doria, reporting for ATV News.
American University's college Republican group sparked controversy on campus with an Instagram post celebrating Columbus Day. We hear from students about the post. University Republicans are a prominent group here on campus, representing one of the two major political parties. Recently, the organization posted a graphic on Instagram celebrating Columbus Day, both the man and his alleged accomplishments. The decision sparked controversy with over 530 comments, many of which were outraged in nature.
Columbus was not an Italian American. He wasn't an immigrant. He didn't even land on what's now the United States. And people trying to use that as an excuse to celebrate Christopher Columbus and what he did are just really using it pretty foolishly, not knowing what they're talking about.
I don't know how they could have thought that was okay to represent our values of our school like that, because I don't think that's representative of us as a community.
Opinions on the matter are both diverse and polarizing, with AU students across the political spectrum weighing in. No matter how the post was perceived by the AU community, it cannot be denied, however, that the American University College Republicans have gained a massive boost in publicity, with the post being commented on at a far higher rate than virtually any other political post the group has made. Coming up after the break, we talk with students about American University's partnership with Grubhub. The dining department has made changes this fall to include on-campus options on the popular app.
Also, American University clubs deal with online meetings as students try to balance safety with extracurricular activities. We take a look at what these hybrid models mean for student involvement. Those stories and more after this break.
What are you doing? What are you looking for?
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's put a ride home.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
We are back, and you're watching ATV News. Lines at TDR and other campus dining options may be back in full swing, but a new service may help reduce those wait times. Fabianna Rincon has the details about how students can use Grubhub to order from AU's eateries.
Many students are beginning to familiarize themselves with Washington, D.C. after stepping foot onto the American University campus for their first time as Eagles. However, many aspects of this new semester are unfamiliar for all students regardless of seniority, including the new Grubhub mobile ordering program making its way to AU this October. The university has had a partnership with Grubhub since 2020, where all students were eligible to sign up for a free Grubhub U membership and receive free delivery from any participating restaurant in the D.C. area. However, starting this fall, Grubhub has begun a mobile ordering system with many of AU's on-campus dining options, including commercial restaurants like Starbucks and Subway, as well as AU-specific restaurants like Wonk Burger, Absurd Bird, and even the Spring Valley Cafe.
I just recently started using Grubhub. I have used it to order Chinese food a couple times, but more often I use it to get Starbucks at the campus Starbucks.
Some students are not even aware of the free delivery services that Grubhub has offered to AU students for years.
I didn't know that there was to-go orders. Just learned about that. I've seen really no signs or advertisements for them on campus. The only way I knew that I could do it at Starbucks was from a friend.
Students often feel that once they were made aware of the Grubhub promotions, they were fairly easy to use and now have become customary in their daily lives. I am Fabianna Rincon, reporting for ATV News.
A climate strike organized by a group called Fridays for Future DC in collaboration with Sunrise AU and Sunrise GW took place on October 22nd. The strike began outside Union Station, and activists made their way to Union Square near the reflecting pool outside of the Capitol building to spread their message. The strike featured multiple speakers who advocated for the passage of President Biden's Build Back Better plan, the Green New Deal, and other legislation, Advocates also promoted ending the development and use of the Line 3 pipeline. Now with the COVID-19 update. AU has recently changed its policy regarding attending sports games at Bender Arena. The university now requires proof of vaccination to attend any sports game at the arena. If you are over 12 years of age and are interested in purchasing a ticket for an AU basketball game, volleyball game, or wrestling match, you must show a valid COVID vaccination card upon arrival. Those who are unvaccinated will still be allowed to purchase a ticket and attend the game, provided they show a negative COVID-19 test result. This change remains in effect until further notice. Spectators are still required to be wearing face masks at all times during the games.
American University's hybrid COVID-19 guidelines continue to impact some campus clubs and organizations. Payton Ziegler hears from some club leaders about participation levels in their organizations.
American University was virtual for so long, and for many students, being back on a physical campus is a new adventure. Most students have missed walking through the halls and being a part of campus activities. Except something still feels off. The halls and meeting spaces in Mary Graydon Center are still empty due to the fact that for safety reasons, club meetings are still being held online. Many students on campus are sharing their experiences of being back on campus and trying hard to feel involved in the AU community.
I have my Zoom meetings for the Black Print Online every Sunday, and we're still involved. We still communicate with each other. We exchange social medias, and we're always looking for ways to get involved on campus and doing interviews and connecting with other students on campus as well.
In addition, ATV News had the opportunity to speak with the Pi Sigma Alpha sorority president, Carson Taylor.
I think students definitely still want to be involved, and if anything, I think I've seen an increase in students that are interested in joining organizations. Just because of, with COVID, it's been hard to find organizations and communities, and so I've definitely seen an increase and students still being really interested.
Be sure to check Engage or the Cork app because new events and club activities are being posted every day, and these student leaders want to see your face at their next meeting. I'm Payton Ziegler, reporting for ATV News.
ATV News will be right back with a story about outdoor dining and how this winter will impact restaurants that still have to follow COVID guidelines. We will hear from restaurant owners and patrons about this.
And with Trucktoberfest coming to a close, ATV hears from students who ordered from the food trucks on the quad this month. We'll hear about student experiences using the Good Find mobile ordering app. That and more after this break.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Scene 103, take one.
I have been 100% into getting vaccinated, and then I asked you, and you hesitated.
Yeah.
I thought we'd be on the same page about this, and we're not.
I feel like even if I were to catch it, my body is strong enough to fight it off.
What if you're one of those cases and you end up in the hospital?
Yeah.
That's what I'm scared of.
Have you ever seen somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin?
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and what do you think about it?
Talk to young children about what racism is, giving them the language to understand it. They can be disruptors. They can shape and shift culture.
We may not always know the answer, but we'll try and help you learn.
You don't have to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't start.
Resuming moments like these starts with protecting our kids against COVID-19 and dangerous new variants. Get the latest facts by visiting getvaccineanswers.org and speaking to your pediatrician or healthcare provider.
You're watching ATV News. Dining outside has become increasingly popular since the start of the pandemic. Our Madyson Brown reports how restaurant owners are preparing for this winter and the effects the season will have on outdoor dining.
Business has been booming for restaurants who've been able to make the most of their outdoor space with restaurant street eateries. But what will happen as winter approaches? Many restaurants in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia areas have taken advantage of their outdoor space to open up their restaurants to more customers as social distancing protocols and indoor capacity restrictions continue to change. When asked how students felt about dining indoors versus outdoors in the winter months, they responded,
More likely to wait at an indoor restaurant.
I'll probably, even though it'll be colder, I'd probably still prefer eating outdoors.
Here's what Fatima Popal, manager at Lutis, had to say about winter outdoor seating.
We do not. Last year we had greenhouses in our location, which worked very well. Unfortunately, this year the Georgetown Business Administration will not allow us to put our greenhouses back up. We plan to remain open.
It is unclear at the moment just how much the coming season will impact our local businesses. As the winter quickly approaches, restaurants will have to step up or step out of outdoor dining. I'm Madyson Brown, reporting for ATV News.
With the fall sports season underway at American University, here's an update. The women's volleyball team recently beat Navy with a score of 3-1. That win marked the team's 4th in a row. Women's field hockey defeated Boston University with a score of 3-1, and the men's soccer team won 2-1 against Lafayette College. The women's soccer team ended their season with a 1-0 loss to Loyola.
Speaking of winter approaching, American University is making its annual switch from cooling to heating in all campus buildings starting Monday, November 1st. This process will take several days, but the university expects all buildings to have heating by November 5th. And AU students had a month to sample a variety of cuisines from DC food trucks. Olivia Wood reports on the trucks that became popular with students this month.
As a thank you for being here, the Auxiliary Services at American University invited students, staff, and faculty to welcome back to Oktoberfest. This event is happening all throughout October. Every weekday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., anyone from AU can order food from one of 3 different food trucks ahead of time through GoodFind. Students with meal plans are allowed 10 free meals from the trucks throughout the month, as long as they use the coupon code AU.meal.plan and sign in through their American University email account.
Yes, it has been really easy to order through GoodFind. It's very simple, very basic.
I've tried and been stopped at I feel like every step of the process.
Really?
It's probably just bad luck, but it's all good because I got my sandwich.
Staff, faculty, and non-meal plan holders are recently able to order from the food trucks as of October 15th. However, each truck only carries 250 meals per day. Food trucks included 7-Star Fusion Foods, Urban Poutine Limited, Cali Burger Limited, Himalayan Soul Foods, and many more. I am Liv Wood reporting for ATV News.
Halloween is a spooky time here on campus. With haunted houses and scary movie nights sneaking up, there are activities to help you celebrate your ghostly spirit. Some of the residence halls have even started booing each other. But the festivities also extend into the city. On Embassy Row, you may find unique candies or hear cultural stories if you are trick-or-treating at the embassies this weekend. You can join in this AU tradition of trick-or-treating around the world, all without leaving DC. But don't be too scared because ATV News will be back in November. I'm Jane Caroline Fusco.
And I'm Ben Mermel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.